Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have another card video for you. I got this Waffle Flower Sneak Peek Club kit number 7, and I wanted to share a card with you that I made with it. So in the kit, pretty much they give you a little sneak peek of what is to come. You get to play with some items about a month before the new release comes. So in this kit, I got the Waffle Flower Grip Mat A2 size. I got a stencil, some sentiments, and some dies that you see there on the left-hand side. I went ahead and cut out some dies. I cut out some glitter paper out of some of the dies ahead of time. Because I wanted to get a feel for what they would look like. So I previously cut those out. So I'm going to make a card. I'm cutting out the cake portion in some about 110-pound cardstock. Initially I tried to do it with some little beige color on the right hand side. You could see a little glimpse of it and I didn't like it too much, so I went with the white this time. So I went ahead and cut out the first, it's like a three tier cake. I cut out the first layer, and then I cut out the second layer there, and I'm about to cut out the third layer at the top that has some candles. So I'm going ahead and cut that out, and there's the one that was my reject, so to speak. So I'm cutting out those cake tiers, or those layers. And also the ones that I cut out of glitter is the frosting. So there is my grip mat, my Waffle Flower grip mat. So they gave that as part of the kit, which I thought that was pretty cool. So on my bottom layer, I cut out the candles because I didn't think I guess that would be if you're just doing a one-tier cake. But so on the first one, I put in that stencil that was provided, and I used my Distress Oxide and Kitsch Flamingo to put in some sprinkles at the bottom layer. And the stencil's awesome. You have a whole bunch of options there. So then now I'm bringing in my second layer, and I'm going to use the stencil for that one. And I'm sure you could use any one of those, would fit nicely. There's actually a little bit of a diagram that you can fit the paper right on it, or your die cut pieces, and you know exactly where to stencil. So I went ahead and used stenciled that second one. It kind of gives you like a little form, so you can see where it fits right in there, and you know exactly where to stencil. So for my top layer, I used the same color. I'm putting some stripes, and I went in a little bit into the candles, and I gave it like a little bit of an ombre effect into the candles. It was a very slight effect. I went up into the candles. So then I finished that third layer. The candles are a little bit delicate, so I was thinking afterwards I could have put a couple extra layers, but so then I had a previous background. I had used some paper, and I had already done a previous background with them. It's some Crafters, I forget which paper it is. If anything, I'll have it linked down below, but I got it from Simon Says Stamp. And it has a whole bunch of different little, they look like almost alcohol inks. So then I went back to my first layer, and I wanted to add some different color sprinkles on there, so I got my Mustard Seed Distress Oxide and stenciled that part in there just to add. So now I'm going back to form my card with the layers of the cake, and I thought that was pretty neat. The frosting pieces, so to speak, are the ones that I cut out with the glitter, kind of cover up the rest of the cake. And then I remembered I forgot to stencil in the candle, so I went back in with my Distress Oxide Mustard Seed and stenciled in the candles to show like if they are lit. I'm kind of feeling that out. So that background is I had cut it with my Waffle Flower A2 size layers, just a little bit less than my A2 size. It's a top folding card, so I want to give it a little bit of trim on the outside. I went in for the sentiments that were there, and I wanted to grab a greeting and trying to cut it. Initially, I was trying to cut it with my trimmer, and it was a little bit wonky. So afterwards you're going to see me pull out. I took I had some honeybee stamp sentiment die that was really thin, and I figured it would be perfect for that. But of course I thought about it afterwards, after it was wonky. And I should have stopped at first. I just kept trimming to see if I could align it, but of course I can't, so that's when I decided to pull out the die to try and see if I could get it. And I was trying out a whole bunch of different backgrounds that would go with the cake, but a lot of it was, since the cake was already glittery and busy on its own, I didn't want to put too much to take away from the cake, which was the main star. And I think that background that I had previously cut that out for another card I had in mind, and I thought it went perfect for that. So I popped up the cake, not too much, with the foam tape that I had. It's not very high, and I popped that up on each of the pieces. And I'm kind of putting it that this cake actually fits almost an A2 size card, so it fills up the card pretty much, pretty well. And I'm trying to think of the card, the paper pad that I used, just so I can give you the exact name. I know it was Crafters. It's awesome because it does a whole bunch of alcohol inks if you want to save on some. You don't do alcohol inks very well. It just does it all for you, and there's a whole bunch of different kind. That has a little bit of glittery in the background. So now I'm pulling out my honeybee stamps dies. That was for another sentiment set, and I thought it would cut perfectly. So my sentiment, sorry, for the life of me I can't remember what the name, it's Craft or something, but if I find it I'll link it down below in the description box, or if you're interested, just leave me a comment and I'll try to get it for you. But it has little glittery, it's pretty much like an alcohol ink pattern, which all over, and there's different colors. It's awesome. You can use both sides of them. And I'm putting in my last one there. Afterwards is where I was thinking about, oh, the candles, I could have puffed it up maybe with a couple more layers of the die cut, so it'll be a little bit strong, because I didn't have anything to put on that background. And then I popped up the sentiment. I didn't pop out the sentiment, I'm sorry, I just glued my sentiment to the bottom of that cake, and it's a simple card, and at the same time kind of glittery. I popped up some of my bling. Initially I was going to use some sequins, and then I found some other good ones you'll see in a minute. I think I got that from Pretty Pink Posh, which it has some colors that match the cake. Some pinks there, you'll see it, the ones that are flat. Initially I had some different colors, but then I found ones that were perfect. I think it was purple and pink to go along with that card. And we're just about done with the card. I hope you like the finished card. I'm just going to glue it down with my art glitter glue just to add some bling. Even though it had bling, I think the extra little touches of it were pretty good. I did some that were popping out and some were a little bit pushed in behind, so it looked like they were coming out of the cake. And I'm using my Simon Says Stamp tool. It's a scoring and a placement tool, which I love. And then again, I just stuck that down with my art glitter glue. Yeah, I have a couple more card kits that came since then, so I'll be filming a couple more card kits, or what I do with the other card kits. That's a great value, and they give you a little sneak peek, like I said, about a month before the release comes out, and you get to play with some of the goodies, and this one was a good one. Just going to place my last little bling. Those are the ones, I think these are the ones from Pretty Pink Posh, and there's pink and purple. They're flat, they don't have any hole in the middle. And there you go. The card's done. I hope you guys like it. Again, I'll post some pictures at the end. I'll have a little bit more close-ups and also on my blog. And if you guys have any questions, don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you like the card. Here I'm going to be stamping the back of my card with my information. That's usually what I put on my cards with my little stamp. And we call it done. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.